Hello, friends. Hope y'all are having a great Wednesday. I'm trying to get this, this thing is so big. I'm trying to pull my screen out enough to where you can see it all at once. Today, we are going to create this cute Christmas sampler for the 12 Days of Christmas. So I hope you've been enjoying our 12 Days of Christmas series. We made some really cute projects. We made, this week we've made a jingle, jingle, jingle card. We've made another jingle, jingle, jingle card yesterday. And today we're going to make this cute sampler. Hello, Barb. So I hope you're ready for some fabulousness. We're going to use the Santa's Delivery bundle. I want to show you another sampler I've got on my stamping, in my stamping area. This is one that I made for a presentation that I did in Arlington, Texas for Stampin' Up. And I was able to order all these products early because I'm a happy shopper. And if you're a happy shopping demonstrator, you can order from the new catalog already. So make sure and take advantage of that. All right, so we are going to make this cute sampler. I know if you've never made a sampler before, it can be sort of intimidating. Don't be intimidated. It's really, just think of it as like some mini cards put together. So you're going to need the Santa's Delivery bundle to complete this. It's got Santa's Trains dies and this cute stamp set. So we're going to use different pieces and parts of it. And the inks you're going to need are Poppy Parade, Shaded Spruce, and Memento. And then you'll need a Poppy Parade blend, any type of orange blend, and a basic black blend. So I've got Dark Pale Papaya for my orange. And we're going to use this Starlit Punch. Hi, Barb. Starlit Punch. And these red rhinestones. All right, so what we'll do when we create a sampler is I start with a piece of 12 by 12. Now, I love using the inserts from our designer paper because they've got a little more sturdiness to them. So I use that as my base. And then I went ahead for this sampler. Sometimes I just create it directly onto the white piece, which is great. But for this sampler, I wanted to give it a little bit of punch. So I actually just stuck a piece. Now, I'll show you this sampler has a piece of the Santa's Delivery paper. So cute. My pack of paper is hacked into a million pieces, but it has all these cute little trains. Santa's trains that you can cut out with the dies. It's got little streetcars that you can cut out. You can see I've done a lot of that. It's got some, we've used this week, so you've seen a lot of the other patterns. But this is one of the cute patterns. It's a monochromatic Poppy Parade. But I don't have a whole sheet of that, so we are using, a sheet of designer paper from the Celebrate Everything set of paper. And that is the one that we have used. That is $18 with a $150 purchase. Anyway, I just wanted something that was mostly monochromatic, which we're kind of all in the same area. And by that, I mean one color. So that you're not taking away from the fabulousness, oh my goodness, of your sampler. So I'm just going to line this up and stick this down to my white 12 by 12 piece. I've made quite the mess of it here. Oh my gosh, now I've slipped my finger. You guys. Okay, hopefully I won't bleed on the project. All right, so you've got your 12 by 12 covered with your designer paper, and now you're just going to get to work making the little squares. So I'm going to start with the bottom right square. I'll see if I can kind of have you be able to look at it while I'm building it. So all I did here, this is one of my favorite sheets of the designer paper, and it looks like something straight out of one of the television specials that I watched back when I was a child, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or The Year Without a Santa Claus. It's a very like kind of realistically digital, sweet Christmas scene. I like that scene so much that I just cut a piece of it and I'm sticking it down on my sampler. And that's really all I'm doing for that square. I wanted that piece to really shine. I did come back and just put a few of the red rhinestones like as like little accents for the tops of the trees. So I'm happy with that. And that's one rectangle down. So that's what's going to go here. Now let's do our Merry Christmas rectangle. So we're going to start with a shaded, this is shaded spruce. So I like, when I'm making my samplers, I like to keep all of the squares and rectangles the same color. Thanks, Barb. It's all good. And I'm going to get this out of the way while I create this little square. I'm going to get a Stampin' Pierce mat down here. Now, this one's so ratty. Let's get another one. So I'm going to start with Merry Christmas, and the stamp pad I'm using is shaded spruce, and I'm going to need the Poppy Parade as well. So if you see, sometimes we have a sentiment that just doesn't quite fill the square. So what I do is I just use it multiple times. I wanted to be a square, and I wanted to use that sentiment. So I'm going to stamp it right in the middle first. Ooh, that's dark. I re-inked this pad recently. And then just stamp one over it and stamp one under it, and you're ready to go. So you've got your Merry Christmases. And then I'm going to come in with my stars. Now these are cool little retro looking stars in this stamp set. And I'm going to stamp these throughout my little square here. Poppy Parade. So you definitely want to stick with whatever's in your paper. And in this paper's case, we have this cool Poppy Parade color. So just keep your little, oh, I see I got a fingerprint there. Let's cover it up with a star. So stamp some stars. You are good to go. Let me get one more in this corner, and I think I'll be, oh, see, you could just keep doing this for days, but I believe I'm happy with that. All right, now I'm going to pop in again with my red rhinestones, and I've already covered them up. Where are my little sparklies? Oh, here they are. I like to toss things aside. All right, so I'm going to do 3. I'm just going to pick 3 stars to put this on. 1, 2, and then let's put one down here. Oh, let's put one over here. 3. So you've got some sparklies. And then I'm going to stick that down to my shaded spruce square. Like so. So then I've got my next rectangle done. So you see, we're just building rectangles, nothing scary. The next rectangle, hello Carol, I'm building is, let's see, Barb says she hasn't made a sampler yet. Well, now is the time. And hello Carol, so good to see you. All right, let's do our penguin. So we are going to use a little piece of our, we're going to pull in this, you can see this, let's see if we can get the penguin here for y'all to see. We're going to use a Granny Apple Green. We're pulling that color out of the Designer Series paper. And then I want to build a little snowbank. So all I did was get a piece of this off vanilla, whatever you want to call it. It's in the set of specialty papers that has like Evening Evergreen, vanilla, and gold sparkle paper. So it's very pretty. And I've got my little snowbank here. Now, I'm going to use my scrap of basic white, which I'll just grab one because I don't see it. So you need a scrap of white to stamp your cute little penguin. Let's find him. Oh, thank you, Faylene. Good to see you. Oh, it's cold and snowing. Well, you could pretend like you're a penguin and roll down your snowbank here. Yeah, it's raining here. If it were cold enough here, we would have the biggest snow because it's going to rain for like forever. It's very dreary and rainy here. So stamp your little penguin. We get about 1 snow a year. Nothing fantastic. So we're going to cut that little penguin out with our penguin die. Now, you'll see we've got 2 of these that cut out the stars. You've got 2 that cut out penguins and 2 that cut out these signposts. So Stampin' Up! Is giving us extras for things that they know that we're going to use a lot. Love that. Let me get my emboss machine out and get ready to cut this little penguin. I love the dies that coordinate with the stamps. That is the biggest strength of Stampin' Up! Is that we have all of these coordinating products and everything works together. So let us pop out our penguin. He's so cute and he's having so much fun going down this snow slide. We are going to color his beak with papaya or any orange marker that you may have, and his feet. Then we've got to pull in a little bit of black around the edge of his body, as you know a penguin would have. And if you're ever not sure how to color, just look at the designer paper, because there's always an image of the animal on the designer paper. So you can, if you're not sure how a penguin looks, then just go look on the paper or Google it, either one. All right, so you're gonna get your sweet penguin and he is going to be riding down that snowbank. We're gonna put him on with the dimensional because he's so cute. And then we're going to pop down. Now, I've got this piece of the glimmer paper. Actually, you'll have this piece left from when you cut out that star. And I am going to cut out 2 of these 4-pointed stars because they match that stamp that we just stamped on the other square. I mean, we have a lot of star options here, but I like that those kind of, you know, mirror each other. So we're going to pop these down with glue dots or glue, since I don't have any glue dots on my table. Pop a little glue down. Sometimes it takes a second to get your glue going. Usually I get a scrap and just squeeze and it comes out like that. Usually not that much. I was squeezing it way too hard, but that's why I get a scrap. That's just a little tip that I have to get your glue going. And stick down your sweet little stars, and that square is finished. Our little penguin. All right, now we're going to build our Santa Claus is Coming to Town square. We are going to use a piece of this designer paper cut to fit that shaded spruce. Now, you guys may be wondering, what size are these? I will post all of the dimensions for these projects on my email. So you definitely want, and I'm sending these out on Friday. Last Friday I sent out the first 2 days. This Friday I'll send out all 7 days that we've done so far. And so you definitely want to be on my email list. The information for how to do that is right here in this Facebook group, or this post. So you'll be able to make your own sampler at home. Now, I'm going to stamp this cute little sign right here. And we're going to stamp the sentiment in the set that says Santa Claus is coming to town, because of course he is. That's the whole point. And we are going to color our little sign with our Poppy Parade blend. So we're just going to color that, maybe this, and we're good to go there. And then I'm going to pop in a couple more of those cute stars. Again, if there's ever any empty space on, because when I first did this, I was like, well, that needs something else. Fill it in with pretty things. That's the joy of stamping, is you can just keep adding until it looks fantastic, and I would call that fantastic. All right, so we are going to stick this down to our scalloped circle. I use the layering circles to cut out this scallop circle and this white circle. Those are some indispensable dies. Now we're going to tie a little bow with the, I always forget the name of this, glitter organdy ribbon. It's iridescent glitter, and so it just kind of picks up whatever color you're working with. If you're working with pinks, it kind of looks pink. Here we're looking at reds and greens. It looks red and green. So it just sort of takes on whatever color it needs to. We're going to stick that down with a little bit of glue, or a glue dot if you have that on your table. Set that aside. All right, so I'm gonna set that on there. You've got that one built. Now you can add a couple of the red rhinestones to your stars there. I don't know if I showed y'all that. All right, the next square we're gonna make, I'll try to put it over on this side, is this little square. Now I use my circle dies ahead of time to cut out. This was just a little element in the designer paper that just kind of got lost. It was in the pieces that had the carts and the Santas. There was a little scene, and I just thought it was so cute. I said, I want to use that. So I just got my circle die, cut it out, and I'm going to just look for things in your designer paper that aren't like the stars of the show, because they're cute as well. So we're going to pop that out and get that onto our shaded spruce and granny apple green square. And then we're going to pop our starlit punch. Now we're going to go big with this star. And we're going to punch out a couple of the smaller stars here. And here I went with the 5-pointed stars. I'm not sure why, but I did. And we're going to put the big star here and the little stars around. So now this star is going to tuck under a little bit, and it can overlap because this is not like a card that you can't close. Like, it can hang off the edge of the square, which it will. And we're going to stick these stars down, and then I'm going to embellish my little square with a red rhinestone. I'm going to put that at the top of my tree. So cute. And there's our 5th square there. Now this square I love. It's so simple, but yet so cute. I love this part of the designer paper that just has little presents on it. So all I did was stick this piece of designer paper down to my shaded spruce square, and then I'm going to wrap it like a present. Okay, now this has a lot of bulk to it if you actually take it to the back and like wrap it around and pull, like what I'm saying is don't do this, like don't actually wrap it like a present. What you're going to do is wrap it around one way and then wrap it around the other way. Okay, So get that one down, because that makes it more flat when you're doing this. And then this side, you're just gonna tie into a bow. So I did it the other way for my sample, and I said, nah, I think I'll make it to where that ribbon doesn't make it pop off the page as much. It's fine, but this is just a finer point that you learn from the first try. All right, so we have a cute little present of designer paper right there. Now the last rectangle is fabulous, and we are really gonna feature the Santa's train dies here. Let's go ahead and get our white square, our white rectangle down. I probably need to trim that a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to, actually, let me go ahead and trim that before I build this whole thing. I've got my trimmer right here next to me, so let me just zip that through my trimmer. I don't want to build this whole thing and then pull it off and rebuild it. Okay, so that's better. And we're going to, now, I thought, well, first I cut my designer paper. The trains, Santa's train dies cut out that train and that caboose just perfectly, okay? So they fit right on that designer paper and cut out your things. So these aren't even stamped. They're just cut with these cute dies. So don't even think about getting a stamp set without the dies, because they're a necessity. And then I was like, I stuck them down and I was like, well, that's kind of boring. But I realized there's a train track die in the set of Santa's train dies. Okay, so I grabbed some of my silver paper, my silver foil, and I'm just going to glue these down like so. Okay, so we're gonna get some multi-purpose glue on here. You could also use glue dots if you've got those on your table. And they fit together just perfectly, so you can just build train track from here to Kingdom Come if you want. And like so. So get those down. Precious. All right, now we're gonna let that dry before we trim it. But we're gonna pop our little train and caboose or whatever train car down, and I'm gonna pop these up with dimensionals. Doesn't take much for the designer paper. Can you believe how fast this came together? It's really not that hard. And you can look up YouTube videos about how to expertly lay out your squares on your sampler with rulers, and I'm just here to tell you, like, I just eyeball it. Like, there's so much going on the sampler that you can just eyeball it, and I'll show you what I mean by that. All right, so we've got our train and we've got our train car down, and oh, I forgot to put the ribbon behind it. I'm not gonna do it, but I just added a little piece of ribbon here to behind those trains. So you can do that or not. I just felt like it needed a small little extra sparkle. I love that our Santas are all colors. We have Caucasian, which is not shown here. Let me see if I can find one. We've got all the colors of Santas. I've used all my Santas. I have none, literally just scraps left. But some are medium skin, some are dark skin. So you've got all the types of Santas to send to all of your friends, and they'll represent everyone. Now I'm going to put 3 little, actually I put 4, but I'm down to my last 3. So I'll just put 3 right here just to kind of give this train a little extra sparkle. Love that, just tiny little detail that sparkles. And then you would come in and trim off this train track. And there's your rectangle. So now you've got all your rectangles, and you're going to pull back in your little piece. Now let me pop this up here and just show y'all how, like, I literally just eyeball. Like, I take my rectangles and my squares, and I just start setting them out, like so. And that's still not dry. And I start like with this, and then I just go, okay, let's see. This needs to be here. And I just kind of, first I look around the edge and see, okay, let's get the edges kind of all equally spaced around. And then I just kind of go for this middle row, make sure they're sort of equally spaced. And there it is. I mean, there's nothing more complicated than that. Now you've got all your little squares ready. And then I just start, oh, I have a twist back there. I was wondering why that was looking so weird. So then I just go back and I adhere them down one at a time. So then I've got kind of a visual guide for where those squares and rectangles go. So just smack them down one at a time. And that's how you make a sampler with the Santa Express. Anyway, so you get the picture. I won't make you sit and watch me stick all those squares and rectangles down. But you just add adhesive down to each one of those till you're done. And there you have your precious Santa's Delivery Bundle sampler. All right, let's remember the 12 Days of Christmas. If you want the PDFs, you need to subscribe to my email, and you'll get the PDFs for the 12 Days of Christmas. These go out on Friday. We have $5 off my adhesive bundles. That is a big set of adhesives in a zipper pouch. Again, I'm gonna have to write myself a note on my hand to find that so I can show y'all. Oh, I see it. I didn't see it yesterday, but I've cleaned up a little. So this is a great gift for the holidays for yourself or for your crafty friends. Well, hello, Khaki. But my adhesive pouch is $5 off this through the 12 Days of Christmas, and you can give yourself a gift or get a gift for one of your friends. When you spend $50 on the 12 Days of Christmas, when you place an online order, you get one set of blends. 100, you get 2 sets, and 150, you get 3 blends. Now, these are only orders that come in through online, or you can text me or message me your order, but this doesn't apply to card class and club orders. This is just for outside orders on the 12 Days of Christmas. We have a door prize form. Fill it out because the prize for this week is the 12 by 12 Santa Express paper. So you're going to get a whole pack of that Santa Express paper if you win this drawing. So make sure and fill out the door prize form. You can fill that out once per day. And I'm going to just with you through some other projects that I made using this Santa's Express paper. And you can see all the cute things. Here's another Santa's Delivery project that we made at my Stamp Technique Club. My friend Jackie Pettit made this. You can see in our Stamp-A-Stack with our Jingle Jingle, we use these cute designer papers. More there, more of that. That's not any of the Santa's Express, sorry. Here's another card I made with that designer paper. And that is all. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for the 6th day of Christmas.